So hi everybody, in this video today I'm going to talk about this topic, 3 things that families of people with ME, CFS, fibromyalgia, long COVID and related conditions need to understand. So if you have ME, CFS, then if you have ME, CFS, long COVID related conditions, I suggest you watch this video and request that family members who don't quite understand the condition, maybe your husband, wife, partner, mum, dad, siblings, etc. watch this video if they are genuinely interested in trying to understand the condition better and how to help you better. So if you are a family member then and you're prepared to watch this video, then thank you for doing so. Being a carer of someone with ME, CFS, fibromyalgia and those related conditions is challenging, and it's understandable that you may have concerns about their poor health and lack of activity, but if you truly want to help that person with these conditions, then it's important you consider the points that I'm about to share. So if you are watching live, do say hello and let me know you can see me, hear me. If you're watching the replay, just put #replay. Do leave comments, that helps other people find the videos. If you don't know me, my name's Simon Pimenta. I had ME, CFS and fibromyalgia for around 8-9 years, and at times I couldn't walk for 1 minute, and I actually got to the point where I was able to work again, live an active life. And I create lots of videos and resources to help people with these conditions move towards their goals. So do check out my YouTube channel. I have playlists on a variety of topics. Hi Samantha, nice to have you join me. So let's get straight into it. The first, and as we're going, if you are someone who is finding that your family don't understand the condition, and maybe some people's responses to you having this condition are actually causing you stress, then do let me know. Now, it's important to remember that everyone's doing the best they can with the resources they have. And actually, if people have a lack of accurate information, that can fuel their kind of responses that might not be helpful. And I'll talk about some of the reasons for that. And it's not always their fault, okay? So the first thing that's really important to understand, whether you have the condition or whether you are a carer, family member of someone who has the condition, is that it's often understood, but it is a real physical condition, okay? It's not all in their head. They're not being lazy. They don't want to be sick. They're doing their best to deal with the challenges of being unwell, and they do want to recover. And that is possible. It is possible for them to make significant progress, move towards their health goals, and completely recover with the right support. You might consider what this person was like before they got sick. I work with many people who, were very high achieving. They had ambitions, they had things they wanted to do, they were very conscientious, and they wouldn't choose this kind of life, okay? Now, one of the problems is that some doctors, not all doctors, but some doctors don't understand that this is a real physical condition. It is actually recognised by the World Health Organization, by the Chief Medical Officer in the UK and other progressive countries. Okay, but a real problem is that some doctors don't understand the condition. They're not following best practice guidelines, and they don't know how to help people with these conditions to get well. I know that because I have worked with doctors. My own doctors were very supportive, but they were very honest. They said, I don't really know how to help you. And when I was telling them the things I was doing to try and recover my health, they encouraged me. They said, look, I think you're on the right lines. Keep doing what you're doing. Okay. I've had doctors thank me because I've helped their family member. I was invited to a wedding by a client, and when I went to the wedding, his dad, who was a doctor, a medical doctor, thanked me, and he said, "You helped my son in a way that I couldn't have done." Okay, so many doctors are being dismissive. They're telling their patients that the condition is all in their head. As I've made already clear, this is incorrect. Okay, and it's deeply upsetting and offensive to the person who's physically unwell. This is going to cause them more stress, and that is going to potentially hinder their recovery. It could make them more unwell. And that kind of attitude of a doctor is not consistent with the doctor's vow that they have taken to do no harm. They're behaving in an unprofessional manner and showing a lack of awareness of both the condition and good medical practice regarding the condition. In the UK, there are some guidelines for doctors, and doctors really should be following those guidelines. Okay, so consider that it's hard enough for the person with the condition to understand the condition. When I first got the condition, I didn't understand it because my doctor didn't understand it and wasn't able to explain it to me. So it's not really surprising that the person with the condition doesn't understand it either. So therefore, it's difficult for others, family members, to understand the condition, particularly if they're listening to doctors who actually have not got the right information and are, as I say, are doing harm. The second thing that's really important to understand is that stress hinders recovery. Okay, so any stress can leave the person with the condition feeling worse. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that everyone has to live in a bubble and you have to tread on eggshells, but we need to understand that it is important to try and put yourself in the shoes of someone who has this condition. If it's hard for you to understand what it's like to have the condition, consider it's like having really bad flu with weights attached to your arms and legs in an environment where there's really loud music and really strong offensive smells. People's senses are often heightened, and for instance, when I had CFS, I couldn't tolerate bright lights. I could tolerate smells, but I was very sensitive to smell. Some people have low tolerance of noise. Some people have low tolerance of light. Some people have low tolerance of smells, for example, perfume. Okay, because their system is very sensitive. Okay. So, as I say, sorry about that. We can't wrap people up in cotton wool, but it is important to try and be sensitive to the person. Try and put yourself in their shoes. Okay. The next thing is that dealing with the condition is very challenging, and dealing with other people's ignorance or judgment of the person is an extra stressor. So consider, just to reiterate the point, what family members do can either hinder or support recovery. Third thing that's really important to understand is what someone with ME/CFS, fibromyalgia, long COVID, needs. Okay? Key way you can help someone with these conditions is, number one, by using the 5 magic words. And those 5 magic words are, how can I help you? Second point, listen to the answer. Try to put yourself in their shoes. As I say, having this condition is not a picnic. Number 3, take positive action. Consider how you can put the answer that the person has given you into practice from this point onwards. And hopefully they're going to be reasonable in their requests and sensible. But just consider that, if someone asked me, how can I help you? I would share some of the points that I'm about to make. So the next point, point 4, is that it's really important to manage your emotions. Okay, as I say, it's difficult being the carer of someone with these conditions. Okay, and consider though that it's important that you don't add to their stress. As I've said, it's understandable that you have concerns about their lack of progress, but adding stress to the situation isn't going to help them. Okay, this person hasn't got the resources to deal with your anxiety. Okay, so if necessary, it's important that you get help to help you manage your emotions. Okay, when I first got ME/CFS, my girlfriend at the time, at one point she said to me, everyone asks me how you are, but no one asks me how I am. Okay, so consider that you might need to get some support. Either speak to a friend who's a good listener, someone who you trust, to join a support group, find a therapist who can help you manage your emotions. Doing that is not a sign of weakness, by the way. It's a sign of strength and maturity. Okay, it takes courage to admit that you're finding the situation challenging, and it takes courage to recognize that you need some help and that it's useful for you to kind of explore your emotions. Okay, but consider that actually finding a good therapist, many people are a bit wary of speaking to a therapist, but it can be absolutely massively liberating and help you feel better about yourself so that you can actually deal with the situation in a more resourceful way. Consider that if you don't manage your emotions, you are in danger of sabotaging the person's recovery, something I suspect you don't want. The fifth thing is to get permission. So if you have a suggestion that you want to make, or if you've got a question you want to ask them, then ask the question, is it okay for me to ask a question, make a suggestion? Make it clear to them you don't want to upset them or add to their burden. You simply have some thoughts that you want to share that might be helpful. Consider giving advice isn't helpful. Saying to someone with these conditions, you should exercise more, you should drink a sugary drink, you should get out more. Okay, this advice isn't helpful. Would you find that information helpful? Would you find that suggestion helpful if you were in bed with debilitating flu? Okay. Now, if you're one of those people who never gets ill, well done you, but just consider that, that might be just the luck of your genes, or it might be that you are robust in certain ways. That's fantastic, but we're all different, okay? Do consider what it's like for this person who does not want to be ill. And when you share your thoughts in a calm manner as a question, the person's more likely to hear it. I found that very much the case. My mum sometimes wanted to ask me questions, and I said to her, look, if you just ask me, is it okay if I make a suggestion? Is it okay if I ask a question? And I'd either say, yeah, fine, go ahead. Or I might say at times, look, now's not the best time, let's chat later. Because there were times I didn't have the energy to talk to anyone. I needed total rest, okay? And it was like torture having someone wanting to talk to me when I didn't have energy. So the sixth point, recognise that you can't fix them. Understand, as I've already said, there are many people, including doctors, who don't know how to help this person get back to health. So don't put yourself under pressure thinking you have to have the answer to their problems, but consider these points that I'm sharing, because these things, if you put them into practice, can actually help the person. Point 7, become a better listener. If the person is telling you what you're doing or saying isn't helping them, then it's important that you consider how to change your behaviour, what you're saying, what you're doing. 8th point, clarify your message. Through your words and actions, you are giving the person a message. So, for example, however unintentionally, some people are giving the message, I don't trust that you are handling this condition in the best way. You're doing it all wrong. Someone in my family, bless them, was actually making that very clear, that they thought I wasn't handling the situation properly. I should have been on medication. And I knew that the medication that I was offered, in 2/3 of the people that took that medication in the trial, they had really bad side effects and had to come off the medication. And when they put forward the trial results, they excluded that data. That's what some of the pharmaceutical companies do. All right. Again, one of the messages people are inadvertently giving is, if I had this condition, I would be doing things differently. People have told me that they've received these kind of messages either directly or indirectly. Consider what message would be more helpful. You could say something like, I'm willing to help you in any way I can, and I'm happy to be guided by you. You could say to them, I believe in you. I believe that you have the resources to find your way out of this. And I will do what I can to help you. So consider that being a carer for someone, being a family member of someone with ME, CFS, fibromyalgia, long COVID is challenging, but there are things you can do to help this person. So thank you for having the courage and care for this person to actually watch this video. So I've created a little PDF called The 5 Magic Words, in which I share these tips that I've mentioned in this video. So if you want to review them, then if you're watching on YouTube, there's a link below this video. Click on that link and you can download the PDF. If you're watching on Facebook, comment magic below and I will send you a private message with the link. Okay, so as I said at the beginning, I have created lots of free resources, videos, PDFs. So if you're watching on YouTube, do subscribe, hit the notification button. You'll be notified when I release a new video. Check out the playlists. And Annie says, get this out. Let me just add that. Get this out there. So thanks for sharing that comment. And yeah, do share this video far and wide if you found it useful. Do subscribe, as I say, to my YouTube channel. I run a Facebook group. So if you want more tips, I post things usually daily to help you move forwards towards your goals. Again, I'll put the link below this video. If you want to go faster, if you want help now, I'm happy to have a half-hour no obligation session. We can explore what needs you have. And if you decide we're a good fit, if we both decide you're a good fit, we can work together either through doing one-to-one coaching. I've recently done a course called Mind Body Reconnect, and I've been working with people using that approach. I have a course called Building Resilience. So if you'd like to know any more about any of that, get in touch. You can have, as I say, a free session, 1 per person. If you'd like a chat, just comment chat below. If you've got any questions, get in touch. I'd love to know what your key takeaway is from this. If you are a person who finds that family members sometimes aren't helpful, actually one tip that I forgot to mention is that be an advocate. If, let's say you're at a family gathering and there's one relation who tends to say unhelpful things, then don't leave it to the person who has this condition to speak up. You could step in and say, actually, that's not very helpful. It's not actually true. Appreciate if you'd keep those kind of comments to yourself. If you don't understand the condition, you can go and find out more about it. So, as I say, if you've got any questions, get in touch. But keep going. You've got this. Dare to dream. Wishing you great health. Thanks for watching. Seeing you next time. If you've got any suggestions for topics that you'd like me to cover, let me know. But for now, bye for now. Wishing you great health.